It's Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. Call now. Mark Graham, Adam Stark, Eric Pedigo, and Nicorelli are standing by to take your calls on Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450.
Good morning. You're listening to Fantasy Football 101 on Sports Radio 1450. 529-1450 is the phone number. Adam Stark alongside Eric Pedigo, Mark Graham, and Nicorelli. It is week number 8 already. Lots of P's, Q's, and D's next to guys' names, and we'll sort all those out here today and take your phone calls at 529-1450. Also want to run through today some of the top pickups on the waiver wire. As with all these injuries, you're going to have to pick up some guys that you may not have heard of or dig deep in that depth chart, and so we're going to run through that too. Also fill you in on who's on the buys this week, and we'll run through our studs, duds, and sleepers for the week. Quickly on the buys this week, the Broncos, Bears, Packers, and Vikings. So that hurts a lot of guys, especially me, who have Adrian Peterson on their team. And the Bears have been playing pretty good as of late.
Not bad, and you forgot 2 teams. Cincinnati and Houston are also on their bye week.
That's every week. Yeah, well,
Cincinnati especially, yeah.
Cincinnati has not been good. That. And Oakland, a little bit of a shocker last week. So there's some tough matchups this week and some teams that are playing better than you thought they would be at this time in the year. And the Rams have turned things around and won 2 in a row. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
Nicorelli's
I was waiting for it, man. Seriously.
Yeah, knocked out the Cowboys.
Jim Haslett, Coach of the Year.
Redskins in D.C. Easy.
But I tell you, they're playing completely different than they were for Linehan. It's amazing. You know, you get rid of one guy who the team didn't like, and you put in Haslett, and the team has played with fire and acts like they want to be an NFL team now.
Well, hey, that Washington game surprised me, but it almost seems like anyone could put it on Dallas right now, doesn't it?
Yeah. That team's
dude.
a soap opera waiting to happen. It's just a joke right now. They've got so much going on, and Jerry Jones is just going around there with a chicken with his head cut off. He wants a player to do that. He wants the coach to call more defensive plays. He's just doing anything he can right now to get that team to win, and what he should do is stay out of it. But
Absolutely.
He won't.
No, he won't.
I'm going to continue to say that it's just the Rams are that good. So matter, regardless of what you guys think.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid, Nicorelli.
Hey, did you see Donnie Avery? He would have had 2 touchdowns. I'm like, the Rams? 2 touchdowns? I was salivating. It was ridiculous.
You're over there. You're just beside yourself. This is great.
Well, I don't do anything in my fantasy league, so I have to cheer on something.
Cheer
and since
for actual team.
Yes, yeah, I know. What's that, right?
And we'll see what happens, though, at New England this week. That could be a tough test. Castle played very good last week. The Patriots do have some injuries, but, the Rams still have some injuries, too. And that just brings us to our first point. We'll talk about the running back injuries. Steven Jackson is questionable. Joseph Adai, questionable. Clinton Portis, questionable. Warwick Dunn, questionable. McFadden, questionable. A lot of guys have a Q next to their name this week.
I read, as far as Clinton Portis goes, I read that he's probably going to play, even though he's questionable. Joseph Adai, probably not going to play. So if you have Dominic Rhodes, keep plugging him in. But I don't know much about the other guys.
Well, Morris and Jordan for New England are both out. So that leaves you Kevin Falk and Ben Jarvis. I can't pronounce his name either. What'd you say?
I just call him Jarvis Green.
Sounds good to me.
Easy.
So
eliminate 2 of his names.
The running back situation in New England's a little bit iffy, so you might look to see Castle put the ball up in the air a little bit more, which could be scary and good for the Rams. But and Nicorelli's over there shaking his head.
Well, I was fortunate to pick up Kevin Falk in one of my leagues. Some other names that popped up, Maroney back on the injured list, and I know that brings tears to the eyes of Mark. LT is probable. Westbrook is probable this week. Willie Parker was expected back this week. He's now doubtful, not going to happen. And McGahee is probable. And is Larry Johnson, he's done for the year, you guys think?
They keep putting him, they keep calling him inactive for games instead of suspending him, so they're still paying him.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They're just
he gets
not
a paycheck.
putting him on the field. And it's kind of going week to week. There's not really been a long-term thing set out that I've heard.
I haven't either. He did apologize this week for beating the women. And can't we all just get along? So I don't know what the NFL's going to do. I wouldn't count on him for a couple, 3 weeks anyway. I just don't know what's going to happen there. But the NFL will probably end up doing something there.
And some other guys getting in trouble too. We'll probably get some more knowledge from one of our callers that likes to call every week with the update on our jailbirds. But 529-1450 is the phone number. But Santonio Holmes busted for marijuana. He's probably not going to play this week, or is he?
No,
he's
not.
done.
No,
he's not playing this
Nope.
week. Deuce McAllister caught with steroids. I don't know that a whole lot of people had him playing at all anyway, but he's done this week.
He actually got caught with a masking agent. It's a diuretic.
One of those creams or something?
Well, it's a...
I didn't know what it was.
It's a diuretic. It's supposed to... Yeah, right.
Supposedly a water pill that
Yeah.
had something in it that the NFL didn't allow, and the guys are already coming out saying, well, it wasn't on the label. Well,
He's probably trying to cleanse himself of something, is my guess.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but...
back to the
should be.
Santonio Holmes situation real quick. Yeah, he's going to be out at least one game, and I read where the NFL may have him out 3 to 4. Nate Washington all of a sudden becomes a hot pickup. So just so the listeners know, Holmes out, pick up Nate Washington. He'd be a nice play.
And we'll run through some of the other big pickups this week here in just a matter of moments. 529-1450 is the phone number, though. Good morning. You're on Fantasy Football 101.
Yep, my prison team just keeps on.
Yeah, boy.
There he is.
Man, it's
I
getting
heard you mention that as far as every week. I tell you, just every week it just seems to be getting more and more on there. Nate Washington on there now, and now we can pair him up with Ray Caruth, our receiver. So we're doing pretty good.
I'll tell you what, when they release this list of this thing that just come out in the last day or so, you're going to have depth beyond belief, won't you?
Yeah, especially at the running back position.
Oh,
But hey,
man.
listen, guys, I have a question here. Here are my receivers. I'm really loaded at receiver. I got Joey Galloway, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, Steve Smith, and Roy Williams. My quarterback is Derek Anderson and J.T. O'Sullivan. I'm trying to pick up Roethlisberger, and I was going to offer this trade to him, and I want to know what you guys think of this trade. I would be giving him J.T. O'Sullivan. I'd be giving him Chester Taylor because he has Adrian Peterson, so that'd be a handcuff there. And I'd give him my fourth wide receiver out of that stud group. I got Roy Williams. He would be giving me Fred Jackson, who would be a cut guy. I would cut him instantly. Marvin Harrison and Roethlisberger. What do you guys think of that?
Sounds like you'd make out good to me.
I tell you what, I don't know why not. With like you said, the depth you have at receiver, you're dealing from strength, and to get someone like Roethlisberger and basically really not damage your team much, I don't know why not either.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great trade for you. I don't know about the other guy.
And you know what?
I wouldn't agree to it.
And another thing you were talking about Jackson being the cutaway. I'm not quite, unless you really have no room for him, he's not a bad guy. Is this a PPR league by chance?
No.
Okay, then he is. Okay, I agree with you. Then he would be someone you could cut. But yeah, I like the deal.
Well, I run into the same problem all the time. My two quarterbacks are J.T. O'Sullivan and Derek Anderson. And this week, I think with that matchup against Seattle, I'm going to go with JTO.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys
I agree with you
probably
there.
on that.
Yeah, you need to strengthen yourself a quarterback because you go with those two guys week in and week out. I know it's just who do I play, and then you cross your fingers they give you a halfway decent game. So
Yep.
good, yeah, that'd be nice if you could pull that off.
Well,
All right.
Sue,
Thanks a lot, guys.
no problem. 529-1450 is the phone number. Plus, that guy has an option, too. He could drop Galloway as far as his wide receiver depth is
That's
concerned.
true. That's true,
Concerning.
because who knows when
Keep
Galloway's gonna
Jackson.
play.
Keep Fred Jackson if you get him.
Yeah, but he needs to pull the trigger on that deal now, though.
Oh, yeah. Get Big Ben and
Absolutely.
Marvin on your team. Yeah, that works. That works real good. Well, let's talk about some of the quarterbacks that are on the injured report this week. Romo obviously out. Greasy at probable. Palmer out again. Hasselbeck is out again. A lot of big pickups at quarterback this week. Mark Bolger making his way back to some fantasy teams. Matt Castle has been picked up, then dropped. Now he's back on some teams, too. Kyle Orton is popping up on a lot of teams now. And Kerry Collins. Are those all good pickups, guys?
Kyle Orton seems to be real deal as long as, Mark, I think you said last week, as long as the weather stays okay. As soon as it starts getting a little colder, we're obviously going to see Chicago start pounding the ball a little more. And Matt Castle's kind of a week-to-week guy, it seems. You never know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen this week because you don't know what teams you're going to see with these St. Louis and New England marching out there. And Matt Castle could throw for 4 touchdowns or 4 interceptions. You don't know.